class. I hope you're having an amazing day and you're ready to do some learning. As you can see, we are going to be doing our presidents. So these are the presidents that we have been talking about all year long. We do have our two new ones that we added, which were Jimmy Carter here, and Ronald Reagan. So those are the two that we did add. So this is the chart that you normally would see. Here it is, the handy dandy chart that used to be on our wall. So this is the one we've done. So again, we've had 45 presidents so far. So 45 presidents we've had so far. So we're not going to use this one. We're going to use it here. So I do know you know where to identify where your presidents are on this chart. But when I change it up, do you still know who these presidents are? Can you identify who they are? And that's what we're going to find out. So this is going to be probably most likely the way we're going to see it from now on until May. You're going to see me using it this way instead of our old chart. Okay, so as you can see, my numbers are not in order. You can see that I gave everybody a number. It's not the number of when they became president, besides, of course, George Washington. George Washington was our first president, so yes, he has a number 1. I just put the numbers because we're going to play an activity, and you are going to write on, so you're going to need your whiteboard for a little bit later. So you are going to need your whiteboard or something to write on. I'm going to give you, I'm going to describe or give details of a president, and then you are going to put the number of what president do you think I'm talking about. Okay, so that's why you're going to need a whiteboard or something to write on when we get to that part of it. So again, you can see that I stopped here at 12. So I have Barack Obama at 12, and then of course I went up here for 13. The reason I have Donald Trump at the top is because that is who is our president at this moment. So Donald Trump is our president of the United States, and so I just put him here. Plus, I kind of was running out of room. I don't have as much room here as I do on our other board that I used to use, but since this is my new way of teaching you, I put him up here. So that is where Donald Trump is because he is our current president. He is the president of the United States at this moment. Okay, so we're going to go over our 13 presidents, Okay, so we have George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump. Let's say that one more time. Okay, ready? So make sure you're saying it with me, okay? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump. Okay, so George Washington. What are things we know about George Washington? Number 1, we definitely know he was the first president. He's the father of our country. So George Washington, he did you're right. He did not live in the White House. Why? Because the White House wasn't built yet. So George Washington is also on the quarter. He is on the quarter. He is also, let me see mine, on the $1 bill. He's also on the $1 bill. So Thomas Jefferson, we know he's on a coin also. Thomas Jefferson is on the nickel. Thomas Jefferson right here. He is on the nickel. He's also on Mount Rushmore. So is George Washington and Thomas Jefferson are 2 of them that are on Mount Rushmore. Next to him, Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln is on our penny. Abraham Lincoln is also on the $5 bill. Abraham Lincoln also has a statue. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here's both of my things right here. So I have, here's Mount Rushmore. which here is George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. So here's Abraham Lincoln here. Abraham Lincoln is over there. And then we also have the Lincoln Memorial. Now remember, the Lincoln Memorial is the steps that Martin Luther King stood on. So this statue was behind Martin Luther King when he gave his famous speech, I Have a Dream. So this is the Lincoln Memorial, has this amazing big statue of Abraham Lincoln. So there's Abraham Lincoln. Theodore Roosevelt, he's also, here he is. Theodore Roosevelt, here he is on Mount Rushmore. There he is on Mount Rushmore. There he is there. And then we have Franklin Roosevelt. Franklin Roosevelt right here. Let me find my coin. Kind of went underneath. There it is. Here he is. He's on our dime. So here he is, Franklin Roosevelt. He is on our dime. He's on our dime. John F. Kennedy also has a coin. We didn't really talk much about him on a coin. We kind of talked about him maybe a couple times. But John F. Kennedy, here he is right here. So on the 50 cents, this is John F. Kennedy. So there he is on there. John F. Kennedy also has the JFK airport. There is the Kennedy Space Station. Jimmy Carter. So Jimmy Carter is one of our newer ones. Jimmy Carter. Ronald Reagan. Remember George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush. They are father and son. Bill Clinton, remember Bill Clinton, his wife Hillary Clinton is the candidate that ran against Donald Trump. Remember when they ran the race? The race, of course, was to get the most votes. You're right, to get the most votes. And remember, each state gets like points for their votes. So when they added up all the points of the states, then Donald Trump got the most. So then we have Barack Obama, which was the president before Donald Trump. And then George W. Bush, he was also the president member on 9/11, when 9/11 happened. He was our president when 9/11 happened. Okay, so I kind of gave a little bit about the different presidents. So I am going to say something that I just shared right now. And you're going to write the number of what president am I talking about? What president am I talking about? I'll start off a little easy, and then I will definitely go a little harder, okay? So let's see. Okay, so this president is on the penny. So we have George Washington, and it's on the top row. So I'm going to kind of go a little easy and then a little harder. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, or Theodore Roosevelt. So the numbers are above. So if you want George Washington, you write a 1. Thomas Jefferson gets a 2, Abraham Lincoln 3, and Theodore Roosevelt 4. So on the penny, if you wrote the number 3, you were correct. Number 3. 3 for Abraham Lincoln is on the penny. Okay, ready? This president, his wife ran against Donald Trump. Which president's wife ran against Donald Trump to become president? So we have George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, or Barack Obama. If you put 10 for Bill Clinton, you are correct. 10 is the number. 10 is the number. Okay, ready? Here we go. So this is going to have a couple numbers, okay? Ooh, you know what? I'm going to kind of challenge you on this. I want to know by looking at, and I'll take it out so that way you can see it a little better. Here is my Mount Rushmore, okay? I'm going to let you know, this is my Mount Rushmore, and these are the presidents that are on Mount Rushmore. Writing the numbers in order to what president is this one, this one, this one, then this one, okay? Put them in order. What presidents do you see? What number is this president? This one, and then this one. Okay, you ready? Okay, so most of them, they're kind of in order until you get to the end. So this one does go to here. Oops. George Washington right here. So that's 1. So 1 and 1. Okay. This one here is Thomas Jefferson. So that would be a 2. This is where it changes. This is where it's going to change. This one here is number 4. Number 4 for Theodore Roosevelt. And then the last one over here is back to 3, which is Abraham Lincoln. So your numbers would have went 1, 2, 4, then 3. There you go. So I wonder how, awesome job on getting those. I hope everybody got that. Okay, ready? Ooh. What president is this? It's the dime. The dime. So, okay, so that's what I want to know, the dime. Okay, so I'm going to let you have a moment, just kind of see which one do you think is the dime. Okay, here's a clue. It's in this row. Is it Franklin Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, Jimmy Carter, or Ronald Reagan? Okay, if you went with number 5, you are right. Number 5. It is number 5. Okay, ready? What steps, and there was a statue of this president behind Martin Luther King when he gave his speech, I Have a Dream. What president is there a statue of that were on the steps that where Martin Luther King gave his speech? Okay, here's a clue. It is the top row. It is the top row. Okay, if you went 3, because you said it was the Lincoln Memorial. Remember, this is the statue, the Lincoln Memorial. You are correct. You are correct. Okay, so which president, let me see. Ooh, which president is the NASA space station named after in Florida? Okay. If you need a little clue, here's a little clue. It is the middle row. It is the middle row. Is it Franklin Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, Jimmy Carter, or Ronald Reagan? Okay, if you went with John F. Kennedy, you were correct. If you put a 6, you are right. Awesome. Okay, so we are going to end our president lesson on that. We are going to do this more often, so that way you're going to kind of see this format a little more than you had in the past. So I am going to very quickly take these down. Let's see how quick I can. You guys can time me, huh? How quick can Mrs. Siebert get these down? Okay, without dropping our presidents. See, that one is sticking to the wall. Okay, there we go. Let me get on. Woo! Oops, dropped one. Oops, sorry about that, Donald Trump. Okay, so let me erase our numbers. So what you're going to need to get, we're going to count by 2s, but we're going bigger. We're going to go bigger. So if you have a number chart like this, you can get your number chart, because we're going to go some bigger numbers. We're going to go some bigger numbers. And so I kind of want to see, and I'm going to show you how we can find our 2s on here really, really easy. So again, if you don't have this, go find this. This should be in your packet. You should have one of these. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So push pause. And then come on back. Okay, I'm going to get my colors. I'm going to go with yellow, because yellow is a lighter color, and that way I'll be able to see my numbers. I will be able to see my numbers. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to color the whole column. So that means those are going to be my 2s. Those are going to be my 2s. So when I want to go larger numbers, it'll be easy for me to do. So let me kind of see if I can without knocking all that over. Just put this in the clip right here. Okay, so I know my first thing I'm going to do is 2, correct? So I'm going to take my 2, but I'm going to go all the way down. Because if you look, every one of those numbers, if I look at that, every single one of them ends with a 2. Every single one of them. Okay, so what comes after 2 if I'm counting by 2s? Right, 4. So that means I'm going to go to the 4 area, and I'm going to go all the way down, because all of those numbers are going to, when I count by 2s, that is going to be, those are numbers I use. I don't use any of the 1s. I'm not going to use anything at the 3s. So we got 2, 4. What comes after the 4? You're right, 6. So then I'm going to go to my 6 all the way down, and then what again? 2, 4, 6, 8. My 8 all the way down, and then I guess my 10. My 10 all the way down. So then I have my 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now you can see how they go all the way down. So if I want to go keep going, which is pretty amazing. So if I want to keep going, so I can go, let me do a different color so I can kind of point. I'm going to use this blue pen so I can touch. So I can go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Do you see how I can keep going? And so that way it just shows me. So I'm going to go see how I have these different rows. Here are my rows, but I can keep going, and I just stay in the yellow area, and I just jump to the next count, skipping by 2s, skipping by 2s. Okay, so if you have this, this is going to help you because then you'll be able to find the numbers that I want you to find that comes next, because we're going to be skipping counting by 2s. I am going to start off easy, and then I'm definitely going to go a little bit harder, okay? So again, whiteboard, or you can just do something that you can write on, Okay, so I got to find my handy dandy marker. Good thing I have extras. Okay, so are you ready? I'm ready. Okay, so I'm going to write the number on here, on my board, on this one, so I can kind of show you closer. Oops, upside down. And then you are going to find it, but I want to know the number that comes next. Counting by 2s, counting by 2s. I'm going to start off easy just so you can see what we're doing. And then I'm going to go to the harder ones. Okay, so if I want, so this is my number. So my number's 4. But I want to know what number comes next, counting by 2s. So if I looked on my, here's my 4, and I jump 1, I am 6. So then what you would write on your board, so you have your 4, I would leave a space and 6. So if I was counting, it'd be 4, then 6, okay? So let me, now I want, you're going to find this number, and then remember, I want the number that comes next, counting by 2s. What comes next? So here is my 12. Here's my 12. What comes next, counting by 2s? So again, you can use your chart, or I'll put mine in case you don't have one. Here's my 2, my 12. And then if you hopped over to the next spot, you are 14. So you should have written 14 on there, okay? And I'll put this up to the screen too, so that way you can see it. So some of you, maybe you don't have this. You should have had it in your bag that went home. You could have had your old one, but there should have been a new one in there, just in case you don't. I'll put mine up so that way you can definitely see it, okay? So here we go. Ready? I'm going to start going a little harder. Ready? I am 46. 46. What would come next if I'm 46? Okay, I'm going to put mine up here. So here, okay, so 46 is right here. There's my 46. Hop one over. Who wrote 48? 48. So you would have on your board 48. 48. So there, that's your answer, would be 48. Okay, here we go. I am going to be 82. 82. Okay, so 82. I'm going to put this up. Okay, 82 is going to be in this row, so you need to find the 82. What comes next after 82? Counting by 2s. Okay. You should have written 84. Now I remember, now we know that that's how they do their 4s, but remember how we do our 4s. Because remember, different companies use different fonts. I mean, they look different, but remember, this is how we do our 4s. 84. Just so that way, because a lot of times when people do those fours, if they do it too curvy, it will look, I want you to tell me what you think this looks like. If I did that, and this is usually sometimes what happens when people do them and they look a little too curvy. See, it's like a 9. So it looks like you are heading into the 9 family. It looks like 89. So that's why the other 4, you're 100% safe on, we know it's a 4. Even if it is a little, maybe not the straightest lines, we definitely know. Okay, so this time I'm going to say it. I'm not going to write it, so we're going to go a little harder. So I'm going to say the number. You have to find it on your chart, and then you are going to write the number that comes next, okay? Skipping by 2s. Okay, ready? I want the number 36. 36, okay? And then I want to know what comes next. So I'm going to put this up so then for those that maybe don't have one of these charts, so that way they have the opportunity to do it too, you need to find the 36. It is in this row right here. Okay, here was my 36, and I jumped 1. I'm 38, so you should have 38. Okay, ready? I am, this one's going to be a little more challenging. I am 80. 80. Okay, 80. What would come next if I'm 80? Okay, I'm going to put this up here so that way everyone can see in case this is 80. So here's 80, but what would come next? Okay, a lot of you saw it. Great job. You knew you're not going to hop backwards because that would be 78. You've got to go into the next row, which would be 82. 80, then 82. Good job. Okay, what if I am 40? 40. What would come next? If I'm 40, what comes next? Okay, I'm going to put my chart up. Find the 40. Okay, the 40 is in this row here. There's the 40. But what would come next? If you put 42, you are correct. Great job. Great job. Okay, so you will need to get your packet today, the number 5 packet. So you'll get the one that's the handy dandy, has the number 5 on it, and you're going green today. We're going green today. Okay, so we are going to be going green, and let's see what's inside our green packet today. What's inside our green packet today? Okay, well, we all know what we start with always, right? Starting with a story. Okay, so here's your story. So we do have two proper nouns, which is Tim and Jill. So there's their name. Their proper nouns is Tim and Jill. That's their names. So those are the nouns. You're going to, again, read, answer, of course. On the next page, you are going to be doing beginning and ending sound. Beginning and ending sound. Now, I'm going to say all these pictures, and so you, remember, if you need to rewind and you need to hear the pictures again, definitely do so. Okay, I'm not going to say them slow. I'm just going to say the word, and then that way you say it slower to find out. So you're going to do beginning sound and ending sound. We have top, bed, zip, cat, web, gas, fox, nut, bus, tub. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. Top, bed, zip, cat, web, gas, fox, nut, bus, tub. Then you are going to turn your page. This is page 3. You're going long eyes. Long eyes means silent at the end. Silent at the end. You're going to read these sentences. You're going to read these sentences after you put them in. I'm going to tell you what your picture is so that way you know what to be writing, okay? This is dice. Now, dice is tricky. You hear dice. It's not the Sammy Snake. It's Katina Cat, okay? So when you do that, dice, and maybe you can do that right now because that's a tricky one. Dice sounds like an S, but it's not an S. It's not an S. And remember, there's a silent at the end. D-I-S. That's k. And silent at the end. Okay? This word, it says, I took one. What do you think this is? If you said bite, you're right. Bite. Remember, silent at the end. I like to fly my kite. This is a dime. Dime. I can blank here. What is he doing under the bed? Hide. I can hide here. I have 9 cats. I can ride my bike. And it is, not Katina cat, sorry, K.O. kangaroo. The mice are nice. Now again, mice, nice, dice are all the same. So as you can see, like nice, when you hit the word nice, you think you hear the S, but it's a C. So that makes sure when you do mice, again, you're going to write the letter C. It's going to be not the N-I-C-E, but you're going to do ice. So it sounds like a S, but it is the C. Okay. Your next page is going to be a writing activity, So you are going to choose some words from your dictionary. You choose what you want today. So choose your words from your dictionary, and then you are going to write them. You're going to write a story, please. So make sure you do your writing activity, because remember, that's the one that we want to make sure we get stronger and stronger, getting our thoughts here and putting them on paper, Your next page, my page is sticking, is counting by twos. Now this is going all the way to 40. So that's where this comes in handy today. That's where this is going to come in handy. So you've got 2, what comes next, all the way to 40. All the way to 40. And then your last page today, you will need scissors and your glue stick. You will cut out your sticks of tens, and your ones, and you're going to glue them where they belong. Which this should be super, super easy. I'm sorry. The last one is a fun tally marks. So you are going to look at your picture. So this is your data. This is where you're going to get all your information, and you're going to put your data here. So you're going to see how many clouds, put them in tally marks, how many flowers, how many butterflies, how many ladybugs, and you're doing tally marks. So you're going to take the information and put it into your here. So it's going to be your data. You're taking that information so that way someone can look and say, oh, if you say you had 5 tally marks, and you'd be like, oh, there's 5 clouds. I don't know if there's 5 clouds, so make sure you check them. I just threw a number out there, which was 5. Okay, and that is your last page today. Awesome job on the presidents today, which there's presidents right there, took them down. But awesome job on that. You have an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you again. So remember, who loves you? Jesus loves you, and so do